Girls, in this video, we'll do chapter method or function, user defined methods. Okay, I will explain you this. The first question is, what is a method or a function? So, a method or a function is a set of executable statements to perform a particular task. Okay, a method is used to perform a particular task. To perform a particular task, we need a method. Okay, and this method consists of the body of method will be having set of executable statements. So it's a set of statements, executable statements to perform a particular task. And this is also known as subroutine, procedure, block of code. It's a block of code only runs when it is called. If you have to run a method, you need to call that particular method in order to run that particular function, in order to execute that particular function. Okay, so a method is a set of statements, executable statements written using programming language Java, as Java is in your course, to perform a particular task. Okay, then also known as subroutine or procedure, and it's a block of code which runs only when it is called. Okay, then why functions and what is the need of function? The main way, this is the main way, or using function, by making function you can break up your program into modules. Okay, modules are the small units. So the main way you can break up your program into modules means dividing a task into smaller tasks. Okay, and using functions, there will be facility of reusability because of functions, as you can write a function and you can call this function again and again when and wherever required. Okay, as I told you, it's a block of code. That block of code you can reuse as per your requirement. Written once, only runs, but runs when it is called. So you need to just call that particular function. You can use that again and again by calling it. Okay, so once defined can be used again and again. Okay, but you need to call it wherever required in your program. Now, types of methods. There are two types of methods. One is predefined, or you can say compiler defined, or built-in functions. Predefined, as the name suggests, these functions are predefined by the developer or programmer. Okay, these are the predefined methods. You must have used math.sqrt, math.pow. All these are predefined methods. You have not written that, but you can use that. These are predefined and provided with the language. Okay, you need to call them only. Okay, using this format, you can call sqrt function, and similarly math.pow. And so many other functions are there which are predefined, or you can say built-in function. Okay, then the second category is user defined methods. These are the methods created by the user. Okay, created by the user, named by the user. The name will be given by you if you are going to make a program. Okay, that means you are going to write a user defined method. Fine, and you can create a method, you can name that method, but you have to follow the rule that the name should be other than a keyword or predefined function. Okay, like sqrt is already there, so you can't take this name as your function name. Fine. Name should be meaningful and other than a keyword. You can't take a keyword as a name. You have to take any identifier name, but it should not be a keyword or predefined function. Fine. Now, how to define a function? Function definition. Okay, doesn't mean you have to define a function in words. It means how to define a function in a Java program. And the syntax for the function definition will be, firstly you will be writing X as a specifier, there will be space, then modifier separated by space, return type of function, space, function name, identifier, and within the parenthesis, parameter list separated by comma if more than one parameter is there. Okay. Then opening brace, beginning of the method. Okay. It shows the beginning of the method, opening brace. Then set of executable statements. As I told you, function is a set of executable statements to perform a particular task. Whatever you have to perform, whatever task you have to perform, you will be writing the statements within this block, curly braces. This will be indicating the beginning of the method and this one is for end of function. You have to put these curly braces. Okay. So the syntax of how to define a method, if you have to write a method to perform a particular task, you will be writing like this: X as a specifier followed by modifier, then return type, function name and parameter list within parenthesis separated by comma. Then opening brace, body of function or executable statements, then closing brace. These rectangular brackets, these are for optional. It means X is a specifier and modifier. Both are optional in defining a method. You can skip these two things. Okay. But the return type, function name and parameter list is must. Followed by the opening brace, set of statements and closing brace. So a function definition must require return type, function name, parameter list, opening brace, set of statements and closing brace. Okay. Access specifier and modifier are optional. Now this very first line of the function, this is the function definition. Okay. And the first line of function definition before the opening brace, it means this line, this is known as function prototype. We will discuss later on in detail. Okay. Now the function definition includes what? I told you, again I am going to explain. X is a specifier. This part is optional. These are of public, private, protected and default type. Okay, default is not a keyword actually. This is optional. Okay. Access specifier specifies where you can access this function or not, the place where you can access. Okay, this will define the accessibility of your function in your program. Then modifier, this one is optional, static or final. If you are writing your function as final, you can't change the functionality of that function. Okay, it will be a constant. Okay. Then function data type or return type. It is supposed that if you are writing a function, you will be returning some value. That every function should return a value. If you are performing any task, you will be getting some result. So every function should return a value. But it's not compulsory that you will be getting any result or return type in each and every function. So if function is not returning any value, means non-return type function, then you will be writing void type here. And if function is returning some value, then the data type of that data will be written here. Suppose a function is not returning anything, so the return type of function will be void. And suppose a function is returning a character, then char should be here. Okay, integer, then int will be here. Int will be data type. Okay, now function name. User defined name will be there for function, and this will be an identifier other than a keyword or predefined function name, followed by the parenthesis, parameter list within the parenthesis separated by comma. If more than one parameter is there, then separated by comma. Okay, then here in the parameter list, variables and their type will be there. Okay, I will tell you later on. We will do the practice of programming. And remember, a function returns only one value. A function can return a one value at a time. If you are going to write so many return statement, then also only one return statement will be executed. A function can return a single value, can return only one value, you can say. And the parameter list includes variable with data type separated by commas, I told you. And this portion, this parameter list includes variable and data type. What it includes? Variable and their data type separated by comma. This much part within parentheses, this is known as function signature. Okay, function signature. Fine. So this is the function definition, how to define a function. Access specifier, modifier, both are optional. Return type, function name, parameter list, opening brace, executable statements, closing brace. Okay, and this is the function definition, and the very first line of the function definition, only the first line, is known as function prototype, and only this much part is known as function signature. Fine. This parameter list, these parentheses can be with parameters or without parameters. Okay, it's not necessary to write parameter list over here. It can be with parameters or without parameters. If the parameters are there, this will be a parameterized function. And if the parameters are not there, means non-parameterized function or method. Okay, now function prototype in detail. I told you first line of the function definition that tells the program about the type of the value returned by the function and the number and type of arguments. Okay, this is the function definition first line. Access specifier, modifier, return type, function name and parameter list. But the braces and the body of function is not here, as only the first line of function definition is the function prototype. So this one is syntax of function prototype, or you can write like this also: access specifier, modifier, return type, function name, non-parameterized function. Empty parentheses are there, it means non-parameterized function. This one is prototype of non-parameterized function, and this one is prototype of parameterized function because parameter list is there. Okay, now the example of function prototype, these are the syntax, as we have written general terms, keywords there, and example means specific, data type, access specifier, modifier and name will be there. So public static void main, only this line, this is function prototype. Okay, because The opening and closing braces and the set of executable statements are not there. Only the first line of function definition is here. Name can be main, show, display, any name. And without parameters. Okay, parentheses are empty. It means it's a non-parameterized function. Fine. Or another example, public static void show int x, parameter is there, so parameterized function. This is the name of function, this is the return type, and in case of no return type, we write void. So this means this function show is not returning any value. That's why we have written void as return type of this function. Static, it's a modifier, public acts as a specifier. We'll discuss later on. Or another example, public static int maximum, int a comma int b. This one is the function signature and the complete line is the function prototype, not the definition, because the body of function is not here. Okay, so public static int maximum. The name of function is maximum, and this function will return a value that will be of integer type, as the return type of this function is int. It means this function is returning some value that is of integer type, and 2 parameters are received by this function. Maximum is receiving 2 parameters. So this is the prototype. Fine. This one is the compulsory part. Int, maximum, and this. Public and static. These are the access specifier modifiers. Both are optional. Okay, like this. Int minimum, int a comma int b. Parameterized function prototype. Okay, because the parameters are there. Returning integer value, so return type is int. Then one point to be remembered, methods live inside classes. Okay, method will be always within a class. In order exist within a Java program, a method has to exist inside a class. A Java program can have many classes and each class can have number of methods. If you are going to write a Java program, you can make more than one method or function in a single program, in a single class. Okay, you can have more than one class also, and within each class you can have a number of methods also. Now, what is function prototype and signature? I told you the first line of function definition is function prototype, and a function signature refers to the number and type of arguments. Okay, the parameter list present within the parenthesis. Okay, just after the name of function. This public static int maximum. This is the function. This complete line is function prototype, and this one portion is function signature. Now the use of void. I am again explaining you. If the function is not returning any value, does not return any value, the return type should be there. Okay, before the function name. But if the function is not returning anything, the data type will be void. Otherwise, whatever type of value the function is returning, that will be the return type of that particular function. So, void specifies an empty set of values. It is used as the return type for functions that do not return a value. A function that does not return a value is declared as void. It's a keyword, void, function name, followed by the parenthesis parameter list. If void function cannot be used in an assignment statement. If void is there before the function name, so you cannot use that function as assignment statement. If returning some value, if int is there suppose or something, then there will be a use of assignment statement. It means that function is returning some value. If suppose int is there, means this function is returning some value. So wherever you are going to call or invoke that function after invoking that function will be returning some value, then you need to store that value within a variable. Then you will be writing this as an assignment statement. Okay, we'll do later on.